Welcome back to the MadSpideyverse. I'm MadSpidey. Thank you once again for tuning into my channel. So today, another one of my statue collection. This will be episode number 53. Today, obviously with the statue collection, if you've never seen any of these videos before, my statue collection is pretty much comprised of all Bowen Designs statues. Bowen Designs were basically the main statue company back in the mid to late 90s to early 2000s. Obviously before all the, the rise of the statue companies, I suppose I could call it. Sideshow and XM and Nine Studios, and there's like a million of them now. But yeah, back in those sort of times, Bowen was the main one. They had the Marvel license. So pretty much all they did was just do Marvel statues. They did a mini-bust range, a mini statue range, and a full-size statue range. The mini statue was pretty much just a smaller scaled version of the full-size, so I decided I don't need those, so I just stuck to the mini-bust and the full-size. Over the time, they did 5 phases, released a multitude of statues and busts and things like that. Obviously all your favourite Marvel characters, plus a lot of more obscure characters. So they did do a lot of deep dives as well, which was awesome. I tried to become a completist, but obviously a lot of money, a lot of time, mainly money, because a lot of it was coming from the States. I'd made a few connections and things like that over in the States where I was doing sort of like, lay-by for us Australians, or lay-away, I suppose you could call it. I was just paying it off over time. Getting, big box deliveries sort of, every month or two, trying to get as many of them as I could. But I did amass quite a collection. So thus my statue collection video series. So anyway, today's episode will be Taskmaster. So I know a lot of people have been, seeing me wear a Taskmaster hat lately. Well, actually for the last couple of months. Like, oh, is that a Taskmaster hat? I've never seen a Taskmaster hat. But yeah, I just saw this. Now, obviously, when I've mentioned these before, like everything I've got is in storage, unfortunately. So I just sort of dive down and grab the next box, or sometimes I pick and choose. But I thought, yeah, this was a cool mini bust to have and to show to you guys. So pretty much, once again, usual spiel. You'll see the trademark grey box. When it comes to Bowen Designs, it has like a collage of characters and names and things like that in it. Now with the mini-bus only, not with the full size or even the mini statues, they will actually do a synopsis of the character himself or herself or theirself. They'll generally show 2 pictures. They'll usually have the first appearance book or something sort of close to it, and then they generally have another book that is sort of more recent to the time of the release of the the unit itself. Obviously they didn't do that. They went with the first appearance, yes, but the second book they just went with something that's just a little bit newer, not a lot newer in this sort of scenario, but it's still always good to get the synopsis of the character so obviously what they're all about. The other side is generally got, if there's a couple of different versions, they'll quite often do the same box, but they'll put pictures of the 2 different versions, and they usually have like a sticker on the front saying, modern or classic or black suit, blue suit, whatever it happens to be. But there was only one version of Taskmaster bust, should I say. The other thing to note is generally the sculpt details, who did the prototype, physical size, things like that, and obviously all your copyright sort of stuff is generally on that side of the box too. And also underneath, you generally have a sticker with an edition number. So this one was an edition of 3000 worldwide. So that's more in the realms of the norm with the minibus. Minibus were anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 up to about 10,000. So some of them were quite big runs, but yeah, anything under about 2,000 was quite a limited run. So this is sort of middle of the road, I would say. Generally, if there's no sticker on the bottom, it can either mean that obviously the sticker's been knocked off, got lost or something like that, or it could mean it might be a special edition like an artist proof or something like that. But anyway, let's get into it, show you what he actually looks like. Hopefully it's not too hard to get into, and I say that every time because sometimes, you know, obviously with time and with age, and sometimes, you know, depending on where it's being stored as to obviously, you know, where the water gets in, where the heat gets in, all that sort of stuff. Sometimes things warp. But as you can see as well, generally they'll have either up or the Bowen Designs symbol on the styrofoam, so you know where to open it up from. Hopefully this is one piece. Usually most mini busts usually don't have, you know, little extra bits and pieces. They will generally have be all one sculpt. It's mainly the full size that usually go any more detail. Alright, so he's just got a lot of foam inserts so things don't get broken. Just take all them out. I think I've got everything. And there he is. So you can see why, because they're sort of wedged some foam pieces and stuff in between, obviously, so like the sword doesn't break, the bow doesn't break. You can also see he's got the quiver on the back as well. They've just done like a piece of wire for the bowstring. The other thing to note, generally with the original, like the first sort of 2 phases, so the really early days, the base is usually fairly basic. They've gone a little bit more detailed, not a lot. You know, they've just put sort of some bronzed sort of paint on there and things like that. And then obviously at the bottom as well, gives you your edition number. So what do you got? So this is 1286 of 3000. They've done quite a lot of detail, like in his face, skull face and things like that. And as I said, the bow, sort of the, I suppose you could call it a utility belt. And there's the infamous Taskmaster shield. So yeah, it's definitely a cool little unit. Obviously, you know, you can get some, you know, being a lot of this stuff's very fragile. Obviously, some more than others. Anything with a cape, generally, you got to be really careful because that would be quite thin. So if you drop it, or if maybe your hand slips and you try to catch it or whatever like that, that'll actually snap in. So I'm just glad that he's all in one piece. But yeah, very, very cool. So that's the Bowen Designs Taskmaster Mini-Bust. I've got a feeling this might have been phase 3. Phase 3 or phase 4, I think it was. They actually released it, so. But that will do for this particular video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Do all the usual YouTube stuff for me. Leave a comment down below if you want to. Hit the thumbs up because apparently it helps the algorithm get eyes on the channel. But most of all, please hit that subscribe button. You know, that one that says subscribe down below. Just, yeah, please hit it. That'd be fantastic. Anyway, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and Spidey out.